on Yelp. Pull up all these pictures and you're like, oh, that's the dessert you're eating? All right, Michelle. That's the candle? Okay, that's the same candle. I know where you're at. 45 minutes to an hour.
45 minutes to an hour. Wait, can you run that long? No offense.
That's how I got married, dog. You know, first date, bro.
Was that what you did?
Yeah, my first date with her.
I look at.
I think a guy's more comfortable being alone than a girl, but I mean, that's a whole nother
You think so? First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for listening. Welcome to Men Don't Know Podcast, a man of many friends, your host and creator, Chris Boone. And here on the podcast, we talk with a bunch of guys. We ask a bunch of women questions over wine and cocktails. Whether you listen to it on Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Pandora, you downloaded that Men Don't Know Podcast app. I cannot thank y'all enough. Merch store is open as always. Hit me up on Instagram at Men Don't Know, Twitter at Men Don't Know 1. Shoot me an email, Chris at MenDon'tKnow.com, or hop on the MenDon'tKnow.com website and shoot me a message. Coy, my guy.
What up, bro?
How are we living?
We're great. Okay.
We are. I mean, we started this 2019. Going into the pandemic, man.
This the motherfucking thanks.
Yeah, 5 dimes, 5 years. Congratulations to both of us, bro. I mean, they say, you know, people only do 20 episodes. Like, they say 60% of people.
We've seen it.
60% of people only do 20 episodes on a podcast. 90% of people only do 100 episodes on a podcast and then stop. We are over 505 years.
Did you think it would be like that? I know you had a vision, but...
Vision, didn't know if it would continue at certain points. Evolution. This podcast used to be an hour and 45 minutes. We talked about on episode 500, Half a Stag. This podcast used to be an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes. We shortened it down to 30 minutes because, you know, typically that's a lunch break. Average ride time in a car is anywhere between 25 and 45 minutes. So it was one of those things where I started to look at where could I be more impactful and what did I hate about other podcasts in that area? And I was like, quality, don't bullshit me, and let's keep it going. Get with the shits. Tell me what I want to hear. Get me in and out, because sometimes I only have 30 minutes. I may be on, I always looked at, I was always in the gym, and my biggest thing was like cardio. Everybody's usually doing 30 minutes of cardio, 30 minutes of cardio. 30 minutes. You always hear that 30 minutes of cardio, 30 minutes of cardio. You always hear, in the sauna, 30 minutes, in the sauna, 30 minutes. So, I started to adapt to everybody else's lifestyle with the podcast. Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Bad, good, different. I think it was the idea that I wanted to go on. Type of thing.
Quick hitters.
I mean, and when me and you talk, it was like, could we do the 2-hour podcast, 1-hour podcast and fill it with everything? Yeah, but
attention span these days are microwave mentality.
Exactly.
Especially with the younger people. You don't have time to. Yeah, I mean, it's not like we have scientists and archaeologists on our podcast.
No.
It's
There's
like,
no Joe Rogan type of thing. I don't have guests.
Quick hitting topics that matter,
and that
helpful
topics, and that we talk about as a group in every conversation. Yeah. When a group of guys get around, these are the conversations they're having. When a group of girls get around, this is what's in the group chat,
and it might not ever come up.
No.
It's a good way of hearing about it.
100%. And I guess the best thing I started learning about is like couples started listening, and it started being a great conversation for them. It started to be something that, you see your girlfriend or wife every day. You don't necessarily have I don't want to say a lot to talk about, but you start to talk about the regular things.
So you think either one of the two couples listening could kind of bring up stuff or maybe incorporate new things that they learn?
A lot of couples started listening together on, like, they open a bottle of wine, put us on. A lot of people started playing us while they were cooking and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people started listening on their break and lunches and incorporating that into, when they talk to their significant other and got their point of view.
Do you think any of the topics sparked any controversy or arguments between couples?
100%. Pillow talk. I remember we did that one at the beginning. Just about guys, telling the girl all their secrets about, what they talk about and confidence with their boys.
Yeah. But what about like, oh, I just heard this episode. How come you don't do this? Or
I mean, 100%. That too. I mean, the flowers thing was huge. Mm-hmm. Chivalry is not dead was huge. Men, I used to post when I saw Costco had flowers on sales.
Oh yeah.
And to be honest
Great
with you, Doug, I mean, you getting 2 dozen for $17. You bring her a Starbucks home and you get a Starbucks, it's $17.
Yeah.
Bring her 2 dozen home. Take it out of the plastic. Doug, let her be talked about at work. As much as women say they hate the center of attention, but they love it when it's something good.
Yeah.
What did he do? Nothing. He just,
make that work husband non-existent.
Yeah. Put that you can't touch me, bro. Like I'm scorching you. I'm scorching you at home. I'm trying to tell you, like, I'm the guy. Like I always tell people, like, I love hard, but I'm hard to love. Like I always often think about this with the podcast, and it's come up a lot lately because of the fact that I just been like kind of thinking, and I don't want to say reflecting, but I mean 5 years is a long time. 5 years is half a decade. And I was like, the amount of relationships I've gone through with the podcast and kind of because of the podcast, I wouldn't change it for the world.
No.
It's the idea of, what I'm doing because this is how you met me.
Sure.
I said, the amount of friendships I've made and we've made because of the podcast is uncanny.
Yeah. Just random people that you never thought you'd meet either.
Yeah, never meet. And, you become great friends.
Super cool too.
And then, not even that to now, I look at it and I'm like, damn, a lot of relationships, a lot of, you would think I now would have been in a secure relationship, this, that, and third, but the podcast and the merch and my time is very limited. And, my mom always speaks to the fact of you want quality time, not quantity. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My sister always says, you can build with a busy man or babysit a broke one.
You got short amount of time, but got to be good quality time.
Yeah, the short amount of time I have. Not here for a long time, here for a good time. The short amount of quality time that I have, it's like Nobu, like I'm treating you like Aladdin, like Aladdin treated the princess. Like I know I can't give you every day, but the days I do give you are better than the days we could have every day.
Yeah,
No,
I agree.
Like I always tell people like going through the podcast for 5 years, you realize, and I get to see a lot of relationships build, unfold. You get to see relationships be created. Jesse and Maddie met on the podcast, gave them the idea for the dinner date. Mm-hmm. What happened later? They got married. What happened later? They got, baby on board. M, same thing.
Oh, yeah.
On the podcast, met his friends.
B.O.B.
Met the guy. Dated. Got married. Mm-hmm. Baby on the way.
What about all the people you've met randomly that had a question that was burning them or a situation that they needed addressed?
100%.
You probably helped them a lot. You probably helped them a lot.
I had a guy hit me up tried to help explain to his son how to do the first kiss. 4-page letter with the older woman in Santa Barbara about, dating and her life experiences. Like, there's so many people that reach out and build and communicate that people, like, it's a good game of telephone.
It's an outlet, too. Like 100%. A safe place where they can get maybe good advice anonymously.
Good anonymous advice. And, Koi, I don't think I rarely forget about it. But when you do something for 5 years, you become someone's household name.
They're used to you.
They're used to you. Like someone told me, said, you're a routine in my day now. Mm. We drop consistently last 5 years, Monday and Friday. So everybody expects Monday and Friday.
Yep. How many episodes? That's a couple hundred easily.
Yeah. Think about it. Everybody expects Monday and Friday as well.
2 per week, 50-something weeks a year. Yeah, it's about 100 a year.
As well as, remember when we were doing like 25 days to Christmas and we were dropping an episode a day?
Yeah.
Like we were always trying and innovating, doing new things to help people along with their day because, we knew how those days were and are, to be honest with you. Through the guests we've had, my cousin Ron, Kiara, Red, Wit, E, KP, Cactus. There's so many people that have came on, and Sammy G.
Some of the ones that aren't with us anymore.
Yeah.
RIP,
Brandon, rest in peace, Chris, rest in peace, Satin Sheets. Like there's so many people that help build to evolve and push this podcast forward that, there's so many highlights. And that's why the intro is the way that it is because, the podcast is built from everybody else and everybody else having questions that I ask. It's not about me and you.
Nah.
We do put our opinions here and there, but for the most part, you don't care about my opinion. You care about the masses, and you want to know what X, Y, and Z are doing. And two, to be honest with you, I want to know about X, Y, and Z.
We're learning too.
100%. I always tell the guys that listen, I say, when you listen to the podcast, listen to understand, not to reply.
Of course,
the podcast is supposed to teach you when you're with a woman to listen to understand where she's coming from, not to reply.
Yep.
As well as give you a question to ask her to make her think. Whenever you're on a date and she says, damn, that's a good question, you score bonus.
Sparked her mind,
Yeah. Like, communication is a lost art. We started it 2019 in the pandemic going into...
Survive the pandemic.
Yeah, shut down where we got lucky. We've been best friends 20 plus years. So we were just having our natural conversation, but on air. We were hanging out anyway.
Right.
I said we might as well put a mic to this thing, and
the same with all of our friends too.
Yeah.
It's like you got a lot of friends, and it's good to be able to pick their minds about the situation, and that the fact that they can open up to you.
100%. But since you've been along, my friends became your friends, and your friends became my friends. And then, like I said, we called AJ, and he got married. Remember, he got married during the podcast.
Yeah.
We kind of forget all these things that happened during the evolution of this podcast. But a lot of people got married. A lot of people, separated. A lot of people were going through a lot of things they did not and could not go through alone that this helped them through.
And trust me, we're our group of guys, we have a lot of experience in life, dating, being social, whatever, but it does not mean that we know everything. There's a lot of topics that we hear from people that, like, let's say I hear from one of your friends, I don't know her, but she says something that's like, oh, okay, like I didn't know about that, like stuff like that. You can still learn. It doesn't.
100%.
Just because you quote unquote know everything doesn't mean you don't know anything.
You know everything from your point of view.
From your point of view. You can always learn more.
From someone else's point of view is a different point of view, so you should always be learning. And then, so...
you should always be open to learn at least.
You should always be open to understanding where someone else is coming from. And that's all the podcast was. Like, you want to know about this. Well, here's what they say about this. Yeah. Right, wrong?
Not us trying to steer a decision.
No, I don't care about that. Right or wrong, listen to this. This is what they have to say. Okay? These are 3 different individuals that have 3 different minds that are living 3 totally different lives. This is a good spectrum. And then it came to the evolution of a lot of women were listening to understand men. Because of the fact that...
Do you think they're more hard-headed, though? to listen to guys' responses as far as, because I think a guy would listen to a girl to try to get in her pants a little bit easier, you know.
100%.
But a girl maybe might think like, I'm not even trying to listen to this.
I would say at first yes, but when you're wondering why things aren't going the way they should, you start to listen.
Reevaluate.
You start to listen to
Maybe I was.
understand why men think like this. You know, and then we had topics from cologne to drinks to what to wear to where to sit to where you should take them on the first date, Groupon. We even touched on weddings and
Things to do.
the plus ones and
holidays.
holidays.
How to navigate through
Who
holidays.
you should bring, how you guys should coordinate the holidays.
How to navigate as a group of guys going out, group of girls going out.
100% understand why he acts the way he does when it's just y'all two versus him and his boys. Versus you guys in a group. We've had the conversations that I guess help both sides understand the story of you don't know everything. You know, I always tell people when people ask me like, how did you start? And I told them like, I started in the pandemic with my best friend, and you know, they always say it's hard to work with friends. And I was like, it's hard to work with friends when somebody has something over somebody or somebody wants it to be. You came in and said, I'm just here to help you do what you need to do.
And that's what it is still.
And I've always told everybody, like, it don't matter. Like, he's still 50% of this podcast. It don't matter if he just came in to help. Sweat equity is way more valuable than money bringing in because of the fact that he's coming with the unbiased opinion and he's here to work and do everything. You know, right. I always tell people, I said, it's hard to do the podcast, but it's even harder to do it alone. Having, you know, and that's why I always tell people, I was like, me and you have done everything together. Meaning, and everything as in work. Like me, when I was shooting weddings, you shot weddings with me. When I did commercial, you shot commercial. When I did party, you did. It's like,
because we've done a lot of different style of jobs, but it doesn't 100%. Matter as long as you're on the same page about things and communicate. Then you could do anything.
You can do anything as long as you have two people willing to work.
Sure.
Hey, this is what I need you to do. Cool, I'll do that. Like, and it's the idea of knowing the roles. Like, yeah, this is what I need. Okay, cool. Now he's doing this. Cool. Now, you know, it's because of the fact that you've seen so many podcasts break up and not even make it. That 5, you know, we kind of sit back and look and slide over 5 years. Doing something for 5 years is hard for anybody to do.
Yeah. Because when you first did this, you said you wanted to do 2 a week and no current events. And I was like, that's tough because you need to have an endless supply of topics.
Yeah.
But, you know, as your life moves on, the topics just come.
Yeah.
And like, you have a lot of friends you talk to.
Yeah.
Shit comes up all the time.
We
go out all the time.
And shit comes up when we're just out. And we're like, oh,
and
shit,
this is
no
500 episodes of non-current events. Like, imagine if we talked about shit that just, you know, that we clown about every day.
Yeah, 100%.
Sports or whatever, you know?
This could be easy. This could be a walk in the park.
Yeah.
My whole goal with this was like, I want to make it timeless.
Yeah.
I want to make it so you can listen. You can start from wherever you want to start at and understand that these rules still apply.
Mm-hmm. The topics build up and grow and adapt as life goes on and things change.
100%.
You know?
Because as you change, your questions change.
Think about if you started this podcast when we were in our early 20s, what would it be talking about? You know, like we wouldn't have experience. It'd be a little reckless.
It would be a lot of
reckless.
reckless.
Talk to would be talking reckless shit too, and
it'd be a lot of reckless.
Maybe not as helpful as people
as it is now. Yeah, 100%.
You know, but we've been on both sides, the young wild side, and now we're way more mature about things.
I think that's what helps it too, because I always tell people, I was like, hey, buddy, you can't tell me anything that you've done that me and my friends haven't already done and twice over on Sunday. Like,
experiences. Too,
experience. Like people, I didn't pie. I was like, Doc, let me show you this, Bill. Oh, I stayed over here, Doc. Like, I get it, but let me show you this over here.
Yeah.
Like, well traveled.
We're also lucky that you think about our graduating high school class. I'm a little bit before you.
Yeah.
Some of those people are not tech savvy and don't know how to navigate through the world. And I'm like lucky that I was able to be on both sides.
Yeah,
you know? Like,
bro. Not even that. Like, you got to realize that we got lucky because circumstances in our life never weathered our friendship. You know, because I made it a point to, I understand that you are here, but understand that these friends of mine are here too.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the fact of the matter is I get it, but
it helps that we're also young by heart. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
a lot of people our age, including our friends, are married with
kids,
multiple kids already.
100%, 100%. And does it work well because we have been, you know, dating off and on and dating different women and being single, and yeah, it does help, but I don't think it would have changed it. Yeah. I think we were just like, I was already set to like, this is what I'm doing. This is going to work. This is going to get us where we need to be, where we can do everything.
You were
else.
laser focused on it, and I know you just started it to. You missed those house parties we used to have at the house, and you wanted to hang out with the friends.
100%.
And I was with you when you bought this equipment.
I had to go. Had to travel.
You tracked hours in traffic for this, so I was like, okay, he's pretty determined for this.
Yeah, and then like, and I tell people like, the moment I started cutting it down, the moment I started doing animation, the moment like even now, like I tell people, I said, it's that laser focused mentality. I mean, there's a thing that Ice Cube said that kind of sat with me. And let me see if I can find it. But it was just one of those things. I think I was talking to my sister early today. And here it is. Let me see if we'll play.
You put fire into anything without making a. Ain't ready to put 5 years of grind into anything without making a quarter.
Right.
Don't even start. Sometimes it takes that long to get over the hump. A lot of people want checks, but bosses cut checks. We want the money, but we also got to use the money to make the money. So it's really about having that mentality that you're ready to work. The reward comes when you get down and you get on your grind. Do not complain about what you didn't get from the work you didn't put in.
And to be honest with you, that's where I started getting to like, okay, like this is what we're doing. And like, I mean, me and you always talk, and it comes to the idea of like, you know, now evolution, and now we sit down and we talk, and I tell you like, this is what I'm trying to do, and this is what I think we can do, and this is what I think we should do it. And you're like, yeah, what do you need me to do? And I'm like, okay, then I need you to do this. And he's like, all right, come on, let's do it. And it's the idea of like, people talk about those Derek Jeters, those Michael Jordans, those Kobe Bryant mentality, where it's like the idea of willing to put in the work and just keep on mastering the craft. Like it's gonna get there. Like you don't know where it is, but it could be tomorrow. And that's what I always tell people. I was like, you see it as, damn, you've been doing this all this time. Where I see it as, I see the people that have those checks and that are making that type of money and being able to solely just do that and make the money. Those people put in the 4 and 5 years where nobody knew of them. The Joe Buttons, the Joe Rogans, there were hundreds of episodes they put in.
For sure.
Where they're at like 700 and they're at 1,000, where you're like Joe Budden talks about all the time. It's like 4.5 years. Nobody gave me a cent. He said I barely started making money off this 4.5 years ago.
Yeah. He's got one of the biggest pods right now.
Like, they call him the Podfather. Okay? Like, there's people that did not start this. Joe Rogan, he just wanted to hang out and talk to his friends.
Yeah.
He
don't even care about the money.
He didn't even care about the money. And people asked me, I was like, oh, you trying to, I said, it's going to come. I said, I started this with the intentions of just having fun with my friends. I said, I started getting back into designing and having fun because I always made my own shit. Like,
for sure.
And now my shit, now when motherfuckers see my designs and my logo and my merch, they're like, oh, okay, Doc, I remember where you started.
I remember the blow the whistle shirt. And you wore the whistle around
yeah, bro. Like,
white tee with a black marker.
I remember where you started, and now people are like, Doc, how could I get some merch? How come you not selling it? I said, because like I'm growing the brand. Like now the merch is like,
I see everybody you give it to, they fuck with it, you know?
Yeah, that is, and it's like, damn, like, Doc, come on, what's up? And I'm like, nah, I got you. Like, and it's just because it's like, no, Doc, like advertisement, and now you can see like, okay, like, Doc, he put the craft in, he put the work in, he put the, and I said, yeah, no, me and Coy put the work in. We sat down, we came up with a plan, and like I tell people, I was like, no, Doc, like.